Call the meeting to order, July 27th, 2023. So first agenda item is select board minutes and orders. Action.
I'll pass on that this week.
Okay, so we're passing on that. Any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, the treasurer has submitted her financial management yearly questionnaire due for July 31st.
Okay, and I just want to briefly mention not about what we're doing on the roads, but what I learned today about FEMA and the floods in Hartland. If we could do that. So why don't we do, before we get under old new business, I guess we can do the financial management questionnaire.
Yeah, we can start with that.
All right, and then the other piece would just be an update on the flooding in FEMA. Okay, any public comment?
You all set, Sherry?
Anybody online?
I have nobody on. Kirk Peterson has thumbs down.
Okay,
Mr. Cohn, I'm adding right now. Helen Esmond, I'm adding. All right, no public comments.
If we add a few, we should do one more call for comments.
Yeah.
So are there any public comments?
No hands up.
all righty. Is there any old business?
Not this week, not today.
Okay, none. New business, FY 24 tax rate, and that needs an action. Go ahead, Mr. Acting Town Manager.
We do this each year. We have a sheet identical to that for the new tax rate. The state of Vermont sends me a form that says what the homestead, non-homestead is. The listers grievance was done on the 21st. I'm sorry, on the 20th. On the 21st, the grand list was lodged with the town clerk. They print a form called the 411 that gives me the municipal education, homestead, education, non-homestead amounts. We have on here what was approved at the March town meeting. And I have the form for the board to sign, please.
Is there any questions?
I looked at the numbers, I looked at what we approved at the March town meeting. The only difference that I saw, Martin helped me with, was that appropriations were not in the number at town meeting. They were a separate bucket, but they're lumped into this and all adds up.
So can I get a motion to approve the Town of Heartland 23-24 tax rate as printed, which is 2.4709 for homestead and 2.3625 for non-residential.
I move to accept the.
Could you repeat that? That was a little quick. Could you repeat that?
Sure. So the proposed tax rate for 2023 through 2024 for homesteads, it's $2.4709. And for non-residential, 2.3625. Got that, Kurt?
He's got it.
So everyone knows, the first installment is due on September 8th, 2023. The second installment is due February 9th, 2024.
And at the very bottom,
And at the very bottom, there is a homestead penalty of 8%.
the board has to agree on that,
And do we agree on that amount?
up to 8%.
Is that, and that's standard? That's what we've
Yeah.
always done.
So
Yes.
that's the
And
max
that's
charge,
That's a
right?
state statute max.
State statute max, town decided to start it last year.
Right, so that was a policy we implemented last year.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, how many people fall
Yeah.
into that?
We had, I can't tell you, I can tell you about $15,000. I don't know how many generated from that,
8%.
yes.
I mean, I think we all, when we talked about it last year, we all felt it was steep. But I don't have enough data to indicate that we should make a change.
So a motion on the floor. Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Second, Andy seconds it. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Everybody would sign it, please.
And sign. Next item is the financial management questionnaire that has been filled out by the treasurer. This is something that occurs on an annual basis that has to be filled out. This questionnaire is filled out and answered to the best ability of the preparer. We actually, as a board, have no input as far as what the person puts down or doesn't put down. So we can't ask the person to change what they have written.
Yeah, I'll copy.
Everybody got one?
I just need a signature from the board.
I just have a comment
Sure.
on one of these here. Can I just speak
Yeah.
here? Have you attended trainings on record keeping?
So Cheryl hasn't, but I have.
Okay, so
I'm
maybe
always,
something,
every
that-
month, VLCT has a monthly financial class.
so maybe she could attend.
Yeah, absolutely.
and Just
I will make sure I start inviting
good for
her.
that.
Absolutely.
Anybody else have questions about this?
A couple of observations. So the other thing on here, I think I'd encourage select board members, if they haven't attended a financial training, to do it. Have there been any changes in signatories? I think there have. David was, now he's
No, David was not. Cheryl Perry is the only signature on the account.
on the bank account.
She's the elected treasurer.
Thank you.
The manager can't.
Can't sign.
Right, the manager cannot be.
So then,
She's approving it.
the thing that I see two things maybe for the future. One is at some point, maybe the select board should review bank statements, with account numbers blacked out, just so we know that our statements add up to.
So
what
we
think
balance
we
it
have.
together. We reconcile the account
Right, but
together.
I don't think this, at least as long as I've been here, I've never seen a bank statement that says the town has X number of $1 million in the bank. I think it'd be good for us to see
Well,
that.
the
once a
annual
year.
report from the accountants will show you,
Doesn't show us bank statements,
but the money in that's what's in our bank.
I believe.
Okay.
Just think it'd be good for the board to see that once a year. And I think the other issue is if we don't have written policies and procedures on financial operations, we ought to go get the VLCT.
We do,
Standard.
we do have it.
It says we don't.
We
It
do.
says it's in progress,
It's
doesn't
in
it?
progress, but we have, it is
Yeah.
written in this upstairs because it's the only way I could get through it when I started.
Yeah.
It's not pretty, but yes,
VLCT has a model.
yes. Yeah, and that's what it's mirrored, a lot of it's mirrored after.
Okay. All right, so that's the. end of my
So it's
comments.
not in progress or it is in progress?
So I have a procedure. David was trying to make it more finite. It's kind of a broad procedure, but it doesn't say, turn the computer on, go to NIMRIC,
No,
go
No,
to,
but
No,
the VLCT policies are a little different. It's like how things are, how the workflow happens.
Right.
So the
Separation of duties.
Yeah.
if you want to send that to me, I'll see if we
Yeah, I'll
have
take
that.
it for it.
And
I can show you ours from our office as well.
All right, oh,
What we
great,
do,
super,
but we should adopt it.
right,
And even if it's not perfect, we
Right.
just,
yeah, but I do have procedures and I can show you.
any other questions on this?
No. No.
So it looks like one signature line. Do we just?
Yes, just shoot,
Just,
just shoot.
okay.
Yep.
So I get a motion to accept the financial management questionnaire as written by Cheryl Perry and allow the vice chair to sign it.
I'll make the motion. to
I second
accept.
it.
We should vote.
Yeah, right,
All
sorry,
in
any,
favor?
yeah, well, any discussion on? it? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Feel like I'm under pressure with the clock.
You want us to play the Jeopardy music?
No, everybody wants to leave.
20 minutes for the roads.
I can play the Jeopardy music on my phone.
So I received, so we're gonna talk about FEMA. So when there is a FEMA declaration, there is a number associated with the declaration. And generally speaking, the number that is associated with the declaration is over a certain time period. The Hartland floods were a week later than the declaration. So when people actually were reading the emails I was sending out, so people are calling 211 to report their damage. And I guess they're being told that it doesn't, the declaration as it stands right now does not apply.
Because the emergency was
Right.
over.
So I have a call into some folks who I know who are very, very good at emergency management, and stay tuned. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, folks, don't worry, do what you were doing, document, get your estimates, call your insurance company, and we will work on the last Friday event for us. This also applies to the town of Hartland. Okay, so right now, the event that we had last week is not FEMA eligible as it stands right now.
It's not.
It is not,
Oh,
because we're not part of the declaration.
Wasn't
okay.
part of that window
That
of
window.
time. It
So-
was declared with a FEMA number and then it was closed.
So as the emergency management director, you should contact the SEOC in Waterbury tomorrow and ask them what the process is. And whether or not
I have been in touch. I have a FEMA agent.
you should call them and tell the FEMA agent that people are being told by 211 that our event is not associated with the present DR number.
You told me to call me anytime, I'll call them all in.
And then if you find out something to the contrary, if you throw it out on the listserv, because
Absolutely.
I don't want people to get really upset.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I will call them and find out what's going on.
I guess, Martin, maybe tomorrow, just
Let us all
Let us
know.
know.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I definitely will.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. I'll-
hopefully it was somebody on the phone at 211 that says, I don't know.
right, but you're gonna look in.
Yeah,
Is it
so-
online? We found it online and.
You know,
and checked.
I got this phone call 10 minutes before I came
Okay,
to this meeting.
I'm happy because we
Good.
were looking at it for work, for
Yeah.
something else. I'm happy to look and send you the
That'd be
information.
great, yeah.
It directs you right to that particular emergency.
So my day job, I have to go, because I work for a solid waste district. We're considered to be a municipality. I'm going to the applicant briefing on August 1st. Martin was gonna go, he and I were gonna go together, but if, whatever, so we'll find out at those briefings in Springfield.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, so anyways, I just found that out.
Yeah, it was just published today, so. Yep. Shoot Road is open. Culvert's in place. Shoot Road is open. All other roads are status quo at this point. We're busting our butt on Town Farm. We're gonna be up there all day again tomorrow. The guys have been working 15-hour days. They're a little tired, but they're done an incredible job. I want to thank the crew and I want to thank all the contractors that came out Saturday that graciously spent 13 hours helping us get where we're at today. So between the town crew and all the local companies, thank you very much. That's very much,
Just,
sure.
Reeves Road is gonna be closed for a while.
Reeves Road and Best Road will both be closed for a while. They had culverts blow out.
Website update, Reeves Road should probably go in with Best Road as long-term closures.
I'll make sure that happens.
They fixed weed today, so that's
Oh, good.
good to go.
Yeah, we're chiseling away at it. There's the guys that busted their butt, they're chiseling away, and like I said, we've had a lot of help, which has really been, it's just nice to see that happen.
So where's Reeves? Check.
So Pat Richardson, you take a right, you go up almost to Scribner, I think. is
Okay,
where
where
that
that brook
culvert.
comes down,
What's that?
where the small brook comes down. to
Yes.
Scribner's?
Yeah, the culvert washed out there.
You know, get like half a dozen exposed utilities.
Are there buried utilities into that?
Oh, yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
one, like
Same with Town
four
Farm.
or five. There's like an old lead sheeted cable.
Oh, wow.
You heard about recently, who's AT&T and Verizon are gonna take a beating on that.
See it?
The other thing is the salvage yard that we discussed.
Yeah.
So I read Jim's email. I called our attorney. You can't have a continuance on a public hearing. And I believe
Cannot or
we
can?
can,
Okay.
as long as, and so we set the date for the following
Select board meeting.
select board meeting. Just to remind folks, what we had asked them to do is to look at the previous draft agreement and to basically to mark it up if that's, and then to bring it back to us. Not that that was going to be the basis for what we did, to try to get a sense of what they wanted.
Yeah, so can I just play
Sure.
devil's advocate here?
Yeah,
That was a draft agreement for a different proposal.
that's right.
So some things may or may not apply to the new proposal.
I
Do we really want that input, or do we just want to craft what our new
My
requirements are?
thought was is they listed, they had numbers in it. Number
Well,
of cars.
The select board had numbers.
Yes,
Yes, so I think we would need to revisit those numbers, which
absolutely.
might
But
be much
but
lower.
if they
than were
increase
back
the
then.
numbers
Uh,
or they decrease, you know, what I mean, it just gives a sense of where they might be.
So where their numbers are current. Like what they have on the lot current, is what they're saying.
So what the select board, well, you're on it. I think the numbers on the previous select board are low or,
It predated me, but it was like, 1 year, year 1, year 2,
It
year
it
3.
kept,
it
yeah,
dropped down.
it kept.
and they keep ratcheting down, but as you get to a certain point.
and then it-
And I'd be curious as to whether or not they actually ever want to get to that point.
So it's really a question back to them to say, what's the current total?
And that's what we would have to ask. So
Right,
One of
what you want to figure out is what numbers do you want? So there's a bigger
Right,
space then.
We've got to decide on. the new
Yes,
For a
exactly.
smaller
You got a
area.
smaller area, correct.
I mean, we don't have this on agenda, just in fairness, but one of the thoughts I had, and I talked to Martin about this, is we come up with sort of a square foot per vehicle.
numbers.
And here is, here's the square feet within the fence,
11,100.
whatever it is, and then here's the maximum number you can have.
Yeah, which I think it's gonna be lower than
Right.
what's already.
And I'm not
So
even,
if Martin, you could ask that question, right? So if Martin just asked a question, how many, and we don't know how they're gonna count, like is a bus a salvage vehicle or is it storage, right? I mean, we know,
But it still can't state it, 'cause it's not a vehicle.
but if you can ask that question, let me know. I'll do a draft of that document so that we have a starting point.
Wait a second though,
Next time.
the way we left it with them is that they were gonna provide us with information. I don't disagree with you,
They
but
provided
that was
us with the
how it was
measurements.
agreed upon
Right.
at the last select board
I'm
meeting.
not sure if that was a motion. It was a suggestion.
So
Right.
David called me 2 days ago, I was wondering where the board was at. So they're not gonna do that.
Yeah. So I think what we did is we put a burden on them,
Mhm.
right, for something that we probably just have to decide and tell them this is what the conditions are gonna be.
Mhm.
The only thing we really need from them is the number of cars they currently have.
I will see if I can get that number for the board.
So I'll do
I'd
it.
be interested to know how many cars we want to have within that
Because
fence.
he wasn't
And
answering.
he's not
When I
answering
asked
it.
him,
It's a-
I asked
It's
him.
a
he
hard
avoided
question
it.
because your definition, their definition of a salvage junk car may be different
It is.
than what the state definition is. So their count might not match the number of actual vehicles. For example, if some of them are parked on the used car lot and they're considered used cars, they're not gonna end up on that count.
That's true, but that's not within our jurisdiction. That's what's in the state's
But those, and
jurisdiction.
they would have to be registered
Right.
as saleable vehicles, correct? I don't know how that.
I
piece
don't know
works.
that. certainly.
Yeah, I don't want to get, because I have other things I was thinking about with this as well. So we should have it at
So
our
so we'll
agenda
get a
meeting for
number, we'll put it on
Monday.
the agenda on the next meeting. I'll do a draft for you guys to look at.
That'd be
so
under
we
old
can
business.
Get jump started.
But I think it's their responsibility to come to us with a plan and to see whether or not we're even close. Because why should we spend a lot of time on something we're not going to go through?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, they filed an application. You know, we either approve it or we don't, and if we approve it, we put conditions on it or we don't. Yeah. That's my simple,
I just think given the parties, we need to be very, very specific as what
to
we
be clear. Yeah, conditions have to be clear.
Any other business?
That's all we got.
I think we've just stayed here for, does anybody want to tell a story? Because we still have 10 minutes.
Nope. I've been here way too many times this
Can I
week.
get a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
At 5:50, we are adjourned.